In this video, I'm going to discuss when and when you don't flip the inequality symbol when solving inequalities. One of the biggest things I see when we're solving inequalities is that my students just don't know when you're supposed to flip the inequality symbol and when you're not supposed to. There are two main things you want to go by. If you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, that's when you flip the inequality symbol. You are physically doing that operation to both sides, and that number has to be negative. If you multiply both sides by a positive number, you don't flip the inequality symbol, no matter what. And so the biggest thing I see is if we have something like 2x is greater than negative 7. We would divide both sides by 2 to isolate the x. But right here we see, well, we have a negative 7 and we're dividing it by 2. That 7 is negative, therefore we have to flip the inequality symbol. That's not what we want to look for. We're looking for, we are physically dividing both sides by a positive number. That's the only thing we want to look at. If it's positive, we keep the inequality symbol the same. If this happened to be a negative 2, then we would go ahead and flip the inequality symbol because now we're dividing both sides by a negative number. This negative 7 could be positive, it could be negative. That does not determine if we flip the inequality symbol. It's always what we're multiplying or dividing by. So let's look at these two examples here. We have negative 8 is less than m over 4. To get rid of the m, we would multiply both sides by 4 because we're undoing that division. In this case, we're multiplying both sides by a positive number. So no, we would keep the inequality symbol the same. So we're just going to have a less than symbol there when we solve. We're not going to flip that inequality symbol even though this 8 is negative. Again, that has nothing to do with whether or not we flip the inequality symbol. We're looking at the number either that we're multiplying or dividing both sides by. Our second example, 2x is less than negative 2. We would divide both sides by that positive, very similar to the example I showed you on the previous page. Because we're dividing by a positive number, no, we're not going to flip the inequality symbol. It's going to stay as a less than symbol because this 2 right here is positive. Even though that guy's a negative number, that doesn't matter. It's always what we're dividing by. Our next two examples here, we have a negative 9y is less than 18. To isolate y, we would divide both sides by negative 9. And since we're dividing by a negative, yes, we want to flip the inequality symbol. And so instead of a less than symbol, it's going to turn into a greater than symbol. And that's because the 9 that we're dividing both sides by is negative. With our last example I have for you here, negative 15 is greater than or equal to w over negative 2. To isolate the variable w, we multiply both sides by negative 2. And because we're multiplying by a negative 2, that's the only thing we want to look at. Yes, we flip the inequality symbol and we're going to make it a less than or equal to symbol instead of a greater than or equal to symbol. Again, this number doesn't matter, and then the outcome of the number doesn't matter as well. Multiplying negative 2 and negative 15 gets us a positive 30. Again, that doesn't matter. We're just looking at the negative 2. So overall, if you want to know whether or not you're flipping the inequality symbol, always look at what are you dividing or multiplying both sides of your equation by. That's the only thing you want to look at. If it's negative, you flip the inequality symbol. If it's positive, you keep it the same.